Awesome. All right. It's slightly dark in here. There's like, maybe this will help. A little bit more light. Okay. Awesome. Go ahead and just find a comfy seat. Whether that's sitting one shin in front of the other, or coming onto your knees and stacking maybe 2 blocks or a pillow underneath your seat. That feels awesome too, or can feel great. And then wherever you are, just shrug your shoulders up towards your ears as you breathe in. And let them fall down and back as you breathe out. And then slowly drop your chin to your chest. Roll your right ear over to your right shoulder. And then roll back through center and left ear over to your left shoulder. And roll back through center. See if you can start to lift your chin up towards the sky. Maybe let your head drop back a little just to feel the front of your throat open up, and then come back to the center. And I want you to look over your right shoulder in a different stretch. Look to the center and over your left shoulder. And then back through center. Now take a breath in to lift your chin, roll your shoulders back and lift your chest. And then exhale to send your shoulders forward and round, drop your chin towards your chest. And do that one more time. Inhale, lift the chest, the chin, shoulders can draw together. And then exhale to pull them forward and round and drop chin to chest. And then come back through the middle and start to reach your hands all the way up. Take a deep breath in. And then we're going to take your arms out like a T and bring your palms forward. Nice, let them face forward rather. Awesome. Now use your inhale to send your chest slightly forward, but think about your palms going back in space where you squeeze your shoulder blades together. Awesome. Now start to wrap your right arm underneath the left and find eagle arms. Now, if you find that this is like way too much too soon in the shoulders, hands come to your shoulders and that's enough. Now take a breath in and see if you can lift your elbows without lifting your shoulders up towards your ears. And then exhale to slightly round in. So thinking about your elbows going towards your navel. Of course, they won't touch, but just think about them drawing together to stretch your upper back apart. Now do that again. Lift the elbows, drop the shoulders, maybe lift the face. And then exhale to send elbows towards your belly button to round, to stretch that space in between your shoulder blades. You might even deepen it by sending your hands away from your nose. Awesome. And then come back up through center, reach your hands all the way up to the sky. And then back out to that letter T. Your palms will face forward. Now think about there were magnets on the outside of your hands, the back of your hands, and they were drawing towards one another behind you. Yes, awesome. Take one more breath in. Now wrap the left arm under, eagle arms. You'll feel the shoulders working. And then right away, can you lift the elbows, drop the shoulder blades down, and then exhale, send the elbows towards your navel and round to stretch that space. Do that one more time, lift up. And then exhale, draw it in. Might feel good if you sit in a chair all day long and you're on a computer. Now start to unravel them and let your hands just come to your knees or your thighs or fall in your lap. Notice if you created any sensation in your shoulders. I want you to shrug them up as you breathe in. Maybe open your mouth, let out a sigh as you let them fall down and back. Nice. And then whenever you're ready, you'll just come onto your hands and your knees, tabletop pose. You can move a pillow or block aside. Keep it nearby. And not a whole lot of movement here today. We're not gonna like throw in a ton of poses, but I really want you to start to find that space in between your shoulder blades in a different way. Like we hold a lot of tension there. And so it can be nice to like just create a little bit more space. So I want you to start to send your right ribs over to the right. Thinking about like the opposite of a C. And then your left ear over towards your left shoulder. And then come back through center. Your left ribs over to the left, but bring your right ear now to your right shoulder. So now you're like the letter C. And then do that again. Move over to the one side, so ribs to the right, head to the left, back through center, and then ribs to the left, head to the right. And then come back through center. I want you to sit back on your heels so your toes will point back just for a moment. Walk your hands up your thighs if that feels okay. If that feels like way too much in your knees, grab a block or pillow right underneath your seat just to prop you up. Now do like you did before. I want you to lift your chest, lift your chin as you breathe in, shoulders draw back. And then exhale to glide your fingers forward towards your knees and round like cat pose. Do that one more time. Glide fingertips back, elbows back, chest lifts, face lifts. And then exhale to draw forward, but round your upper back. Drop chin to your chest. Now, rise back up onto your knees. You can keep that block where it is. Reach your hands up. And then take your arms out like that letter T. So you open your palms really wide. And we're going to send your hands behind you like there were magnets in between them, just like you did before. And then wrap your right arm underneath the left. Eagle arms. One time to lift the shoulder, or not lift the shoulders, but lift the elbows rather, without lifting the shoulders. And then exhale, think about that navel and your elbows drawing together to round. To deepen that stretch. You might even drop your seat down towards that block. One more like that. Inhale, lift back up. And then exhale, round it in. Now unravel the arms, sweep up, take a huge inhale. I want you to drop your hands back down, tabletop pose. Now this time, reach your right hand up to the sky. I want you to twist open to the right. And you're gonna thread the needle so your right arm will come in between your left arm and your left knee. And you're gonna just reach over towards the left and then see if your right ear can then find the ground. Yeah, or your right temple rather, the side of your head. Now, wiggle walk your left hand right in the ground in front of your face. I want you to press down through your left hand and then see if you can press down and lift your left shoulder up higher, or just twist a little bit deeper. Maybe even look over your left shoulder or over your left elbow. Take one more big breath in and maybe even lean back away from your right hand, away from your left hand, and then slowly come back up. Place your right hand back down on the ground. Now let's give our knees a break. Tuck your toes. Plant your hands and just lift your seat up and back, downward facing dog. So here you can pedal out the feet, bend the knees one at a time. Take a huge breath in. Bend your knees a lot and walk your hands back towards your feet. And just take a halfway lift as you inhale, reach your heart forward. Big exhale to fold and round down. Now find your halfway lift again. As you inhale, you lengthen. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your hips and stand all the way up. Now, once you're there, I want you to sweep the arms out and up. Take a big breath in. One last time, arms out like a T. Hands draw back behind you. And then right away, you get to wrap the right arm under. So same arm, right arm under. Now bend your knees like you're sitting in a chair. I want you to slowly start to wrap your right leg over. Now, if your balance is off and it's like way too much, you have that block right there. You might just like bring your foot right on top of it. So you can play with balance, or you can feel a little more grounded. Stay here for 3. In eagle pose, we call it 2. Last 1. Now unravel your legs. I want you to stand your feet really wide and reach your hands out, star pose, or 5-pointed star. Take 1 big breath in like you were pulling your fingers, your toes apart. And then turn your heels in, your toes out, just bend your knees into chair, or not chair pose, but goddess pose, horse pose. It's one of those Fridays where I think one thing and just say another, and that's okay. That happens. Take 1 more big breath in, big breath out. Now turn your toes to face the front, reach your hands up, maybe even heel toe your feet a little closer. And then a big exhale to fold forward. Take your halfway lift, soften your knees. And then walk the hands back to downward facing dog. Huge breath in. Long breath out. Now rise up to your toes. Drop your knees back down, tabletop pose. I want you to come right into cow pose as you inhale. And then exhale, press down into the ground and round your back. Cat pose. Now you'll slowly sit back on your heels or on that block if you have it. Arms out. Now we switch to the other side. Arms out like that T as you breathe in. And then slowly start to wrap left arm underneath the right. We're going to take that breath in to lift the elbows. Think about the back of your shoulders as you slowly draw forward and you round. 1 more like that. Inhale, lift up. Maybe even lift the seat this time. You rise. And then exhale, your elbows draw towards the navel as you maybe sit back and round through your upper back. So nice. And then slowly start to come up. Unravel the arms. Take a big breath in. You'll reach up. And then you'll slowly drop the hands back down. Tabletop pose. Now this time it's the left arm that will rise. You'll open up to the left. And then thread the needle. Start to look over to the right. You'll reach your left hand there. And then maybe your left temple comes to the ground. So with a little bit of a twist, you'll just press down through your right hand. And then maybe start to lift your chest a little higher. You twist a little deeper. You might even look over your right elbow, shoulder, and then lean away from your hands. And then when you're ready, rise back up. You reach the left hand high. Set the left hand back down on the ground. And we get to tuck your toes, float your knees, hips back and up, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. Bigger breath out. Walk your hands back towards your feet. You land in that forward fold right into halfway lift as you inhale. And then exhale, fold back down, let it go. And start to rise all the way up. You'll sweep high, nice and slow. This time, hands to your heart center. I want you to just pause here before we move to that eagle pose. Take a moment on 2 feet. Shrug your shoulders as you breathe it. And open your mouth as you empty that nice side. Do that 1 more time. Breathe in to rise. Breathe out to release. Now reach the arms out like the letter T. Back of the hands, press back. And then exhale to start to wrap left arm under the right, eagle arms. And then bend your knees like you're sitting in chair. Stay here or weight in the right foot as you wrap left leg over top. Maybe that foot comes right to a block. Stay here for 3. Hug everything in towards center and then lift the crown of your head from there. 2. Last 1. You'll unravel the legs, take them nice and wide and reach your fingertips apart, 5-pointed star, 1 breath in. And then heels in, toes out, bend your knees, your last horse pose. So you can bend through the elbows, lift the chest high, take a full breath in, maybe sink a little lower. And then you'll rise up, straighten the legs, sweep the arms high. Soft bend in the knees here to fold forward. Halfway lift, lengthen it out. Walk the hands, your last downward facing dog. Take a huge breath in to rise up to your toes. And then drop your knees, tabletop pose. Lift of your heart as you inhale. Rounding of your spine as you exhale. I want you to slowly start to you're gonna find a seat. So you can move that block if you have it, but keep it nearby if you want. And you're going to just swing your legs out in front of you. Give them a nice shake. And then nothing too fancy here. You're just gonna keep your legs nice and long to start and reach your hands forward. And then look behind you, make sure you have enough space to just slowly roll all the way down to your back. And then once you're there, bend your knees, plant your feet, hips width distance apart. Back of your head will stay on the ground, and then I want you to press down through your feet, lift your seat, bridge pose. So as you lift your seat up, I want you to look straight up towards the ceiling. And then maybe start to wiggle walk your shoulder blades a little bit closer together, like rolling the shoulders underneath you. Feeling the collarbones expand, take 1 more breath in. And then you'll slowly come back down. Heel toe your feet a little wider and just knock your knees together. Take your arms out like goalposts, bending at the elbows. Big breath in to stay. Long breath out to empty. And start to just split the knees. A nice, simple, easy twist here. Just both knees fall over to the right. And then come back through center. Let them fall over to the left. Let them come back through center. And then hug your knees towards your chest, maybe even a little wider towards your armpits. And then a little rock side to side if that feels good. Then take your legs long onto the ground. I want you to reach your arms up and overhead. Find a long body stretch. Maybe reach and grab one wrist at a time as you lengthen. And then slowly start to take your arms down along your sides. Let your palms flip up. Let your toes relax. Close your eyes. And then see if you can just invite in a little bit of stillness here. And even if things are not quiet around you, like there's still noise that is drawing your attention, maybe away from your mat. Know that you can still find a little bit of quiet within you, like that's still a possibility. Always a possibility. And if that space around you is quiet, just invite that in. If you can relax your toes. Your ankles. Soften your knees, your hips, your belly, and even your chest and your shoulders. Soften your elbows, your wrists, and your fingers. Find ease in your neck, in your jaw, even in your face. And take that big breath in right here to just fill up and expand. And on your exhale, can you release and just soften a little bit more? One more like that. Big inhale all the way to the top. Long breath out all the way out to the bottom. And over just your next few breaths, invite in just a little more movement. Your fingers, your toes, maybe even the features of your face. Start to bend your knees, roll to your side, and with just little to no effort, you'll press yourself up to a seat. Knowing that your movement and your time on your mat doesn't have to be this grandiose thing where we, balance on our head or we find every pose in the book. It can be just a little sliver of time where we take a moment to pause, to breathe, to create space in the part of the body that might feel stagnant or stuck. So sit up nice and tall and just bring your hands together in front of your heart, knowing that you are enough. You do enough. And you will continue to be and to do enough. Take that big breath in. Long breath out. And bring your thumb tips to the center of your forehead. Remembering to be kind to yourself. Share that kindness in your own way with others. Namaste. Happy Friday. Happy